Testing, testing. No, is my microphone the crackly one? Maybe? It must be. Everybody else's is off, right? You want to try yours, Nicole, and I'll turn mine off.
I already did the Darth Vader thing earlier, so you missed it. Mine works great.
Paul, you can have mine. I don't plan to speak today.
Are you sure? I was planning on asking at least one question, so you didn't feel left out. You getting anything? What kind of volume are you on? Half? Well, let's keep our fingers crossed. I got my phone tonight, so I'm sure I'll hear.
I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If everybody is okay with it, I think we should move up the representative for the insurance agencies to give their presentations first, if that's okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Works for me.
All right. First one that we have is Farmers Union Insurance, the Ryan Opdahl Agency. Yep, you sure can.
Thank you.
If you want to just turn the mic on, I'm not sure if it's, just push the power button. There we go.
Test. There we go.
There we go.
All right. Move it just a little bit. All right. First, I just wanted to say thank you to the commission for the opportunity to come and kind of talk to you guys today. For those that don't know me, my name is Ryan Opdahl. I'm with Farmers Union Insurance here in Hillsboro. I handed out kind of a little packet of Farmers Union information on our agency, but I'll highlight some of that in our kind of presentation here tonight. Just a little background on myself. We moved to Hillsboro about 9 years ago from Jamestown. I'm originally from Larimore, North Dakota, so if you have a beef with the polar bears, try not to hold that against me at all. But I married a gal from Hillsboro. She wanted to move back here, and then I quickly figured out that I wanted to too, and here we are. So for my first 4 or 5 years in Hillsboro, I pretty much introduced myself to everybody as Tim and Terry Lee's son-in-law, or the Viking fan that worked with Rich Gerke, and people could usually figure out where I belonged from there. So, but we love Hillsboro. Hillsboro is home for us now. You know, our plans are to be here for the next 30 years and raise our daughter and our family here, and just think it's a great community that we're really happy to be a part of. Farmers Union Insurance, we're based out of Jamestown, North Dakota. We write insurance, all lines of business, lots of different companies. Not all of our products are underwritten by Farmers Union Insurance in Jamestown necessarily, but we kind of do it all. We kind of specialize in a lot of different lines, and have invested in putting agents in small towns across North Dakota, South Dakota, and just really doubling down on putting agents in small towns. So that's kind of a neat thing about Farmers Union Insurance. Our agency in Hillsboro is structured in a way where I'm kind of the main agent now. I took over for Rich Gerke, but Rich is still around the office and works with me. And then we have a full-time CSR who works in our office, Heather Jacobson, And all of us work together collaboratively as a team to service our customers and help wherever we can. So commercial insurance, like I said, Farmers Union Insurance is really focused on commercial insurance in the last 5 years. It's an area that we identified as a company that we were going to put some energy behind, and the company's invested money in growing our commercial business and given us resources and an underwriting team and specialized people to help us with commercial insurance only. And we've really benefited from that in the last 5 years. We've seen great growth. We're able to offer better service and answer questions to our customers quicker because of the resources we have within our company now. And that's just been a great value add for us as agents, and then also for our customers. So in that little packet, I have a little page on what you can expect from Farmers Union Insurance, and specifically our agency here in Hillsboro. About 5 years ago, we invested in a downtown office building right on Caledonia, which I'm sure you guys are aware of. Our office hours are typically open from 8:30 to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, but we also do a lot of evening and weekend appointments. That's when people are available, so that's when we meet. We're kind of on call anytime. A customized service plan. So we be working in all different lines of business. Our customers have different needs. We meet with some customers quarterly. I've got customers I talk to every 3-4 days, and then we have people we meet with twice a year or one time a year, and we can kind of tailor that to be whatever you would need it to be, and have some discussion and conversation about what do you expect from a level of service, and build that into a plan that works for you going forward. 24/7 access. I'm a 36-year-old who's glued to my cell phone all the time, so we're available. And I think most of our customers that we work with in the area would probably attest to that. I get some phone calls at 10 or 11 o'clock at night from people with questions or concerns, or they have a claim situation, and we're happy to take those calls at any time. So we're available 24/7 and happy to help. Service. We pride ourselves on claims being filed timely, service requests being taken care of quickly, so you can rest assured that your insurance needs are being met. Something we take a lot of pride in making sure that things are getting done quickly, answers to questions, and so all of you can kind of get back to doing what you need to do with your daily jobs, and we can service the insurance part of it. And then giving back. This is something that when I came to Hillsboro, Rich used to say to me, like, hey, you got to get involved. You got to do stuff. You got to be involved in the community. And he has been for years, and he set a great example for that. And it's something we've kind of just kept doing. We're happy to help. We feel like if you do business in a small town, you have to invest in your community through servant leadership, getting involved and being part of groups like Rich has for years, like I am with the golf course and economic development and church and all the different things. Like, we just feel like that's part of it, and that's just a big part of our agency, and something that we kind of like to hang our hat on is it's up to us as business owners to help lead the community forward. So why do we want to be the insurance agency for the city of Hillsboro? Our agency mission statement is to provide comprehensive insurance planning for our customers while being good stewards in the community. And we think this is just another way to be able to serve our community, the people that we live with, that we go to ball games with, that we shop with, that we do business with, is to offer a comprehensive insurance plan and work with the city on their insurance too. So we're excited about the opportunity. We think our processes and how we do things in our agency can bring great value to you guys as a commission and the people that work on the business of the city daily. So we just think that, again, our processes and how we do things would be a good value add to the city. So, questions? Oh.
Thank you, Ryan.
Okay, thank you.
Next, we'll have Heritage Insurance.
Okay. Thank you for having me. Thanks to the commission for inviting us to come and speak a little bit at the meeting tonight. For those that don't know me, my name is Luke Feliti. I'm with Heritage Insurance Services. Heritage Insurance Services, in the name, is new to Hillsboro, but not new to the insurance game. In the beginning of the year, Heritage Insurance purchased Terry Reed's agency and Lee Erickson's agency. Since then, I've been in Hillsboro taking care of that business, which includes the city's business. So we are the current insurance provider agency for the city of Hillsboro, along with other municipalities and other associations. Mostly, a lot of those are writing with the NDIRF and the Fire and Tornado Fund, which you guys are as well already. So a little bit about myself. I live in Castleton, North Dakota. I drive up here just about every day, and I've really enjoyed my time in Hillsboro so far, getting to know the people, getting to know our customers, experiencing the town, and getting to know the people around town and the various businesses. Like I said, before we insure some customers, municipality type customers in Hillsboro already, Trail County being one of them, one of the largest entities in the area. Heritage Insurance has been around for a little over 20 years. Before that, it was owned by it's a family-owned company. They were previously owned by the guy's father. Tyler Bierke is our current owner. So we're a family-run business. Him and his wife are the presidents of the company, and we really focus on small town agencies and small rural communities. We have offices in 17 different communities across the state, mostly small communities. We do have offices in Fargo, Bismarck, Minot, but then mostly other small towns: Hillsboro, Maddock, Milner, Foreman, Wishick, to just name a few. So definitely part of the community. Heritage brings a lot of experience when it comes to insurance, especially for the municipality type organizations. We have many agents that currently write many NDRF policies, which is something that I lean on for their expertise to continue to provide the level of service that organizations and cities like yourself come to expect. So we would like to continue to provide that level of service, even though we are the current agent, and we would like to continue even though we are kind of new to Hillsboro. Our future plans for our agency in the area is to be here long term, and that goes for myself too, even though I do not live in the community. We bought some land across the interstate and do plan to build a building as soon as we can, when we find contractors. So we plan to be here in town for quite some time, and I plan to be here quite some time, and if the opportunity presents itself, to be part of the community and live here as well. But that's something to be seen, but I don't plan on going anywhere. So I'm not new to insurance. I've spent the last 10 years in the insurance industry, even though new to Hillsboro, new to the Heritage Group. So we would just like to continue to provide the level of service that Lee Erickson has provided in the past. He is still part of our team to help guide us with our current customers through our transition period, and then of course we'll always be around as long as he's around to help us with any questions that we have. So we have expertise with Lee still on board. We have expertise in the general insurance industry across all lines of business: commercial, farm, municipal, health, life, we're a full service agency and provide every product that you could possibly imagine. So with that expertise, with our continued partnership with the people that we purchased the agency from, we just hope to continue to grow and be a part of this community, and would really appreciate the opportunity to continue servicing the city of Hillsboro. Thank you. Any questions?
Okay. Thank you, Luke.
Thank you.
And last, we have the IRE agency.
Thank you, Commission. My name is Shane Lark. I'm with IRE Insurance Agency. I appreciate the opportunity and the invite. My good friend Ashley informed me, and I got on the list, so thank you. A little bit about myself. I've been in the business for 23 years. I specialize in municipalities, farm, and crop insurance, along with commercial insurance. We have 7 locations across small town North Dakota. I live in Hope, North Dakota personally. And we have 2 commercial customer service agents in the city of Hillsboro in our office, right by Subway. A little bit about our agency. We're nearing 50 years in the business. It is a family-owned agency. I am the majority owner, but I also am a very active agent. And if you choose IRE Insurance, I will be your agent. Our most recent successful city that we've done business with was Devil's Lake. We've had West Fargo, but they're on a rotation schedule. I've also got the experience of being mayor of a small city. I was mayor of Page, North Dakota for 10 years, as well as on the city council for another 8. So very well aware of what happens in small town North Dakota and city council and proceedings, what goes on. As you can see with the brochure that we put together here, we are a full-line insurance agency. We've got 40 people strong, and you have a commercial dedicated team of 5 underwriters located in the company. We also have online portal access for those customers that like to access their policy on their own. You can print a certificate of liability. You can get an ID card for a vehicle on a weekend. And then my cell phone number is always on. So I appreciate your consideration with that. I'm going to keep it simple. You know, we're selling ourselves. You're going to be with NDERF. I've got 23 years experience with them. I'm very close to the board and Brennan Quintus, the CEO. And I've got the experience of living and working in a small town. Any questions?
Well, thank you, Shane.
All right, thank you.
So we will go through the rest of the agenda. If you guys are more than welcome to stay if you choose. And then at the end of the meeting, where it's published is where we'll decide how we want to proceed forward with our insurance. Does that sound good for everybody? All right. So we'll go back to the agenda. We're on reading of the minutes from our last meeting. Unless someone has changes, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved by Nicole, seconded by Paul to approve the minutes. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those, I did that wrong. We'll try this again. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is the presentation of the bills.
Make a motion to accept.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved by Dave, seconded by Paul to approve the bills. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Motion carries. The bills are approved. Next, we have our monthly disconnects for June. Do I have a motion to approve the disconnects?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved by Paul, seconded by Dave to approve the disconnects. Just for your reference, the EA that's on the front, that means that they got a payment from energy assistance that came in. So not necessarily that they paid, but it was a state payment. Any other discussion? Dave?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
And a yes for me. Motion carries. Next, we have the city commissioners report. We'll start with Dave tonight.
I have nothing tonight.
Nicole?
I have nothing this time.
Paul?
I just have just an update on the load controls. We're still getting calls in. We're still good for a couple weeks, but they are slowing down. So if there's people that haven't called in to get registered or to get their scheduled appointments, get the load controls in, please don't forget to do that. And the more that do it ahead of time, the less we have to go contact and bug about doing it. So please be diligent about getting that call made. And like I always say, if you have issues, when you contact them or if they give you grief or say something that you're not happy with, please let the city office know, myself or Jim know, so that we can address if there's any issues with it. But we need to have everybody call in, even if you have natural gas heater. We would appreciate if you would call in and let them know so they can take you off the list.
Okay.
Okay?
Do you know how many are left?
Oh, what did we say this morning? A couple hundred just about? Mm-hmm.
That's much better than.
But they've been getting, they've been full the last 3 or 4 Mondays, so.
Oh, good.
And they're full for the next couple, so, except
That's
for the
good.
3rd of July, I don't think they're working, but we do, the gal did call me, Melody called me and said that they are slowing down.
Okay.
So we need to start picking them up again, so.
Do you want to send out a updated list so that we can help if we see some of
Yeah,
those?
we're working on getting a more updated list, so once we get that together, we've been giving Sarah a chance to get caught up before we bombard her with that.
So I saw the announcement of that fee on the back of the card when it got mailed out. How are we doing that digitally for those who have their accounts automatically hooked up? How do they get that statement warning? Okay.
Well, technically, we haven't approved it yet.
Yeah, we haven't approved
We haven't
anything on it
approved it
yet,
yet.
so.
Right.
But we can talk more
The
about that
note.
once we get to that point.
Yeah, there's a note, like on the physical card, when you get it in the
Yeah.
mail, there's a note on the back, but I don't know how others would find out about this if they don't get a physical card.
That's why we've been trying to use the newspaper and social media and other ways. We can't, I don't know what other way we can get a hold of them
Yeah.
if they're not getting it, so.
Right, but we have to get it in the ordinance, in our fee schedule in order for it to be able to take effect. So we,
Yeah.
we
I'm not
need
worried
to
about
talk-
that part, I'm just,
Right.
for people to know,
Right.
maybe if they
No,
don't know.
from my perspective, you won't get charged. You'll know ahead of time before you'll get charged. And you'll probably just not want to do it, or you're not doing it, but everybody's going to be made aware, in my opinion, through a letter or through a phone call or something.
That's what I was
We're going
wondering,
to
how.
we're going to do our best to make sure that people that get that before they get a charge, that they're going to have an opportunity. But we're not going to, if we leave messages with them or we send them letters and they're just not responding, we have to make the next step. Did you have something?
So do some people not physically get a,
Right.
I don't.
I don't.
okay, I didn't know
You
that.
can get it online, though.
I didn't know where, I
Right.
wasn't
You
aware
can
of
get,
that.
you can
Yeah.
get your bill online, but
Right.
it doesn't come.
It's like you can sign your account up and it, like your app, and then it automatically, if you have it automatically paid, you wouldn't get a notice of any sort, but the physical card, I noticed it had one on the back.
Yeah, not everybody gets a physical
Yeah.
card. Some of it get emailed to them, some just goes directly to their, they just pay online.
Yeah,
Can you check with PSN and see if we're able to email out to everybody that's on that?
Yeah, I can check with PSN.
Okay. Anything else, Paul?
That's all.
All right.
Well, one more thing. Thanks to the city for HBA, for the Hills Village Association. The Hillsboro Days went real well. Thanks for all the city did, putting out barricades, helping with the tent, moving blocks, everything you guys did. We appreciate it. The Business Association really appreciates the help, and thanks again.
First item that I have is we have a variance for we don't have it in here. It's
It's a 421 West Caledonia.
That's it. 421 West Caledonia. There was a variance that was approved at the planning and zoning meeting last Monday. The reason for the variance is they're asking for an 8-foot setback. And part of that reason is we're not sure if it is 5 feet or 10 feet. One part of our ordinance says 10 feet, one part of the ordinance says 5 feet. So, being that it's 8, they asked for a variance.
Where is it going to be from? The east?
It will be
east?
sitting in the lot facing to the west,
So the 8 feet's on the east side.
past the easement. So it'll be, you'll have your sidewalk that would normally be there, and then it's from that sidewalk or the easement edge, another additional 8 feet in.
This is one right down by the,
Right on the corner, it was a
Yeah.
new home that was built.
yeah. So they're gonna put the entrance that close to the street. Where's the entrance gonna be then?
On the west side.
Gonna be facing the Dollar Store.
Yep, facing the Dollar General.
How are they gonna get to the garages there now then?
They're adding a garage.
I thought that's what they came in for, that garage. They're adding the garage on the north side. Where's it gonna be from the current garage?
On the back side of the lot,
South of it.
on the south side. So it'll be
Oh,
in the
you're talking,
southeast-
okay, yeah, I'm
southwest
thinking of a
corner.
different building. Okay, I'm thinking of the one that's putting one on the other side, so, gotcha.
I think they're
Yeah.
gonna have to clean some shrubbery and
Yeah, yep,
curb out.
yep,
They've already done some of that.
Have they done?
yep,
They've already taken out shrubs, but,
got it.
which reminds me, I'll have to make sure on that building permit that they pay for the curb cutting.
Yep.
So, like I said, planning and zoning did approve that with the variance for 8 feet. If so, request a motion for approval of that variance.
I'll make a motion.
Nicole makes a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Dave for an 8-foot variance for 410 West Caledonia. 421 West Caledonia. Is there any other discussion?
They're knocking the curb out and then they're replacing it themselves. They're putting I take it that they put in a driveway and do then.
I would assume
Paved
so.
driveway.
Yep, and that's what the deposit's for, is if it doesn't get fixed, then we would use that to pay for it.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Paul?
Yes,
Nicole?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
And a yes for me. Motion carries. With that, planning and zoning is looking at updating the ordinances. 'Cause like I said, in one spot it was 5 feet that says accessory buildings are 5 feet from the property lines. And then in another part of the ordinance, it says that it's a 10-foot side yard. So there's some confusion, we just need to get, and that's one example, so they're gonna go through and double check, and JR is gonna pull some together so that they have something to go from, so they're not starting from scratch. And then with that, I need the approval to appoint Paul Brown to the Planning and Zoning Commission. He did agree to be seated on that to fill one of those spots.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved by Dave, seconded by Paul to appoint Paul Brown for the Planning and Zoning Commission. Is there any discussion? Dave?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
And a yes for me. Motion carries.
It'll be a great addition.
He will be, yes. He has some years of experience in construction, so. So that does still leave us one seat open from the extraterritorial zone, so anybody within that half-mile radius outside of the city limits. I had an individual come to me on the 400 block, or the 100 block, no, yes, 100 block of 4th Street and 3rd, so it'd be the block between 4th and 3rd and 4th and 3rd Street and 1st and 2nd Avenue.
Part of town.
It'd be in the northeast part of town. It would be in the same block as the property that we've been dealing with for a long time. And it deals with the alley getting blocked and being blocked.
Who's blocking it?
A lot of the neighbors, more than one. And so the one that came up and talked about it, there's some issues with vehicles being pushed around and moved and other stuff that is out there, or trailers being parked in the alley. And so I did look into it a little bit farther, and the alley is a dedicated alley, so it is under city guidance or city ownership in that particular block. With that being said, there is items, property, and so on and such forth that is on city property. So with your approval, I'd like to have JR draft a letter to those that have items on said property and then have it removed, or we would go in and remove it. Because it is on city property, not the individual's property.
I'll make a motion to have that done.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Paul, seconded by Nicole to have that lettered sent. And then we'll give them timeline to get it completed. Is there a suggestion on the time?
Whatever the norm is, I don't know what that, something like that would be, JR, but that's pretty important to me. I want to make sure that, we give the people ample time to get their things together and that they're waited to reboot because they're still asking.
Yes.
Okay.
So now that everybody is probably back on, and I apologize about the streaming, the computer restarted on its own. So those of you that are just joining us, the commission voted in Jason Paulkamp for the open commission seat. With that, we can do that next meeting. Next item is the policy handbook. Was there any feedback from anybody in the office or from employees at Public Works? Or they didn't get a chance to look at it yet? We'll postpone
I
it.
didn't see anything and I forgot
forgot about it, so I didn't get any input from them, but
That's okay.
it's up to you guys.
It's been really busy in our office with just two, with Ashley and I, and her out sick, and then me gone on vacation, so.
We will hold off. I totally get it.
I just have one thing, because obviously I have too much free time. I read the book, but page 35, under, next to leadership training, commission approved, $5 per hour. There's just 2 words there, Paul, $2, just needs to be removed off of there, so.
Okay.
That's all I got.
That was probably my note.
I think so.
All right. Next item is the facade grant on 15 West Caledonia. And JR, did the HBA have any discussion or comments back for us, or were you guys too busy with Hillsboro days?
We did discuss it, and Paul, what did we decide on? Now I
It
have to,
was, the consensus seemed to be that everybody was okay with it getting a second time, but they'd prefer that it would be in like November,
Right,
October,
right.
after the summer was kind of over, and if there was something still available at the end of the year, that then it would be okay there. So, but as far as leading on this one, I think we could make, because we've kind of been holding off on it, I think it would be right for us to probably run this through, if that's okay with others, with the note that, this is how we're gonna do it next year, moving forward, is that, first time, what they kind of do at Trail County is you can always apply for more, but they're gonna give preference to the new people, okay?
Right.
But they actually have a deadline of, I think it's May 1st or 31st, I'm not exactly sure, but they have an early deadline. So, and we could sure do that too, if we wanted to do it, a deadline, and say, hey, we're gonna do this, because I understand it is harder, in October, November, doing any contract stuff, but, so I'm open to the date, whatever we may wanna, whatever the commission feels, hey, we're gonna leave this to first come, first serve up to May, and then if you've had it once, you may apply, and you actually, in my opinion, they could apply, anybody who wants to apply could be by May 31st or whatever it is, but preference would be given to those that have not had before.
That sounds
Does that
fair.
make sense?
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, and she put her application in
Yeah.
quite some time
Yeah,
ago too,
so I think as far as this one goes, I think we should make,
So
I'm okay with the May date for next year, moving forward now. I know of a couple people, one person I know that is gonna be putting one in yet this year, so, but that's still only 5, so we still have room for a couple more, but,
So I think I will work on a revamp then of that application so
Okay.
that we can put that up for next year's.
I think there wasn't there some other things that were mentioned that people felt they would be like to see in that? Maybe some things added to it?
I think
If
so,
we could,
yes.
you
I know
know,
it was
and
actually
it's-
news to some of the members, so
Yeah.
that was part of it, that we can, once we revamp it, perhaps I'll retouch base with those folks, touch base with you, Levi, and we can incorporate those into the application then.
Okay. I'll try to get something by the next meeting. So, do I have a motion then to approve the facade grant for 15 West Caledonia Avenue?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved by Dave, seconded by Nicole. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. Paul?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
Yes.
And a yes for me. I forgot we have to swear you. Unless this, JR has this right here now.
Making JR earn his money tonight, so.
That's right.
That's true.
The next item is the milling paving quotes. So we do have 2 of them. Did everybody get a chance to look at them both? And once Dave got his math correct? On
I
both
looked,
sides?
but it looks foreign.
Both sides?
I'll try to do some explaining here the best I can when you're ready.
Go.
You saw in my email, the second quote is from Hillsboro, and they don't do per se the small hand patching that Advanced does, and a lot of Advance's quote contain that. They picked out the worst spots, and so I'll just kind of try go through those. If you go to the Advanced quote on the top, in the northwest section of the town, I'm going to pull out the 2 streets at St. John's Church. And that would be at the bottom of the first page of the Hubert Oy quote. Advanced, when I pulled the numbers out, the square footage, the advanced quote for St. John's was 38,500. And if you go down to the bottom of the first page, like I said on Oy, you add those two together, their quote is 31,700. But there's looks like there's a big difference. I mean, it's cheaper, but they're, instead of just doing 2 inches of milling and overlaying, they're actually including fabric, 6 inches of reclaimed concrete, and then 6 inches of asphalt. So to me, not for a cheaper price, you're getting a much better product. You go to the advanced, to the second item. I pulled out 3rd Avenue North, which is up by Tim Lee's, the Woods House, and I came up with 18,000 and some change on that one. And if you go to the top of Oy's and add those two together, they're at 10,000. So you're at 10,000 for Oy, 18,000 for Advanced. Okay, I think you're already seeing a trend here. They have bigger equipment and less man, so basically they can come in and make one pass and do something as opposed to 2, 3 of them and do more handwork, and do less handwork, I should say. The third item on Advanced is a little confusing. They quoted 21,645. That's the water leak area over on 2nd Avenue Northeast. And Hubert Oy's bid was, it's one that's listed 210 2nd Avenue, new curb, was 2,100. So you got 2,100 compared to 21,000. Well, I think there was some confusion there, and Advanced was planning on going 2 lifts of 3 inches apiece, so 6 inches of asphalt. And Hubert Oy's bid was basically 2 inches over concrete that we pour in the water leak after we're done. So, like I said, that one's a little confusing. Let's go to the other 2 at the bottom. Okay. The 4th item on Advanced, which would be the north side of the event center, 3,500. Again, it's confusing because that was just for filling with areas of asphalt, and Hubert Oy's bid was actually milling it, and theirs came up at 20,600. So again, it's a hard comparison because you're getting 2 different products.
They weren't gonna mill. Advanced wasn't gonna.
No, but if you read down below, it says, this is a much cheaper, uglier Band-Aid, and I would suggest milling and paving at 8 feet in this section as well. And he did come back to me and said he'd be willing to come back and rebid that. So then I would guess you're gonna see his numbers go up and probably, the way things are rolling here, more than 28,000 for that. It's a pretty long stretch. It's almost a full block. And then on the second page of the Oy bid and the last page, yeah, so they'd be the last 2 quotes on both of them. I tried pulling out the funeral home work and for square footage out of that one that included McDonald Drive, and I came up with 35,000 of that 46,350 would be for the two streets at the funeral home, and Hubert Orr's was 20,000. So we're comparing 20,000 to 35,000 there. Hubert Orr does have a larger mob charge. It's 8,000 compared to 2,000 for advance. So I guess what I'm seeing is those are the worst spots. And most of them are sunken streets next to the curb and gutter. But I'm seeing the trend is that Hubert Oy has a better quote, cheaper quote for probably a better product.
What can you say about the note he had at the end on Hubert Oy about
I had them both look at McDonald Drive. There's two sump pumps that continue to run out there and go out into the street. The curb and that curb and gutter is 20 years old, going on 20 years old, and it just there's a lot of settling in it. So we got highs and lows, and that's why a lot of that is standing in the street. It looks worse than it is. I mean, the water isn't deep; it just stands in the street, and that's where he suggested you may as well do the curb and gutter. And this was on the big list for the street project, a big full depth repair on that section. I just had him look at it. My opinion is just not do anything right now until we get the curb and gutter fixed.
So I have a general question.
Okay.
So on Main Street, we have the curbs, and then we have that little, kind of that ramp up and that ramp down. Is any of this like a redo, or is this just resurfacing, or is this redoing some of those curbs too?
No curbs.
Okay.
This is just all asphalt. And like I said last meeting, we could do this, and next year if you decide to go with curb and gutter repair, there could be sections of this that is ripped out. But
I only bring it up because Hillsboro days, I sat next to a lady in a wheelchair, and she had described how hard it is to get up and down on some of these roadways and streets. So just keep that in mind if we're redoing curbs and stuff, that we put those little ramps in for those
yeah,
those guys.
That's pretty much standard if you do a new
Okay,
street
I didn't know
project.
that, so awesome.
I don't remember if were you on when, probably not,
I don't think
when,
so.
when our bid came in for the total, that was part of it, why it was so high.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
it was $1 million, I think.
I think, yeah,
Oh yeah, I wasn't here.
It was a lot.
access
it was a lot.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Because if we do a full depth, you had to redo those curb and gutters, if I remember right, wasn't it?
Correct.
So either way, both of these could come out of the municipal or 453 fund, which there's 804, 880, 47. Correct.
Which one again?
453.
453. It could come out of 453, yes. Which is part of that prairie dog funds.
And that's what it's,
Your
This is what it's
recommendation,
meant
Jim?
for, yes.
My recommendation?
Comparing the two.
If I had a choice between the two, I'd go with Oy. Some of these areas are tough. I mean, by next year, there's gonna be the garbage truck continues to the water stands there, which makes it soft, and then the garbage truck comes in and heats it up. So, I guess it's up to you guys, if you wanna pick away at stuff, or if you wanna just wait till everything goes, or what, I don't know. What I saw for a total on that, I thought I had the total was
I don't see it.
115.
Dave's got it.
150.
150?
150?
115,
15, that's it.
115?
Yep.
after I looked at the second page.
And if you decide to go with those spots, I would like you to add some contingencies there, because there is at least one spot that neither one of them gave me a bid on. It would be over by the shop, by Levon Gazette's place. It's doing the same thing that,
That's real bad.
yeah. And that area, and then I'm starting to get nervous about the street between Senex and north side of Subway and the eastbound lane coming into Hillsboro. I think Caledonia hopefully will hold together for another year, but it's getting tough.
A lot of holes to patch all the time.
And they're getting spread out, and there's just so much traffic and so much weight coming through there, and, but, so I would like you to throw some in for, like I said, contingencies, incidentals, and when they're here, that, a couple more of those spots maybe get filled, that I don't have numbers on.
That mean more of the mill and resurface part? No installing a fabric or anything?
No, just the million, and some of it could actually be done by Advanced, and they would just come in with a finer mix and just do some hand patching like they did last year.
What do you think?
And I'm assuming they're booking, getting full, so when this is gonna be done, I'm not quite sure.
Are you thinking like 10%, 20%? What are you thinking?
Yeah, even 125, if it's at 115 now to go to 125.
So about,
Yeah, that's why I was asking about the milling and resurfacing, because, you know, it depends on like, I would put in the contingency of at least this 28.6. So that would be up to 143.6
And
for a
that's, yeah.
total. I would think would cover that.
We could even say 150
That's
total.
that would be good, and just to cover my butt
Yep.
anyway.
I think next year what we need to make sure that we do, if we don't do it, is we need a plan that we're gonna have 150 or 100,000 in.
Yeah, at
In
the
the
minimum
budget.
of that.
Mhm.
And if we don't use it, we don't use it, yeah, I agree.
Right.
Just,
And we just gotta keep planning that every year, whether we do curb and gutters, whether we do whatever, just to make sure that we keep going, keep at it, otherwise we're gonna end up with 10 million.
20 million probably.
20 million.
Well, because we need to keep doing maintenance on the streets, I'm gonna make the motion to accept the bid from Hubert Oy for 115,000 with the contingency to, what did you say, up to 150?
150.
150,000. Yes, please.
can I have you, change that? Can you put OI and/or advanced up to 150 in case, because OI's not gonna maybe do some of that, and I could get advanced maybe to come in and do some of that smaller stuff,
Okay,
which would be the contingency stuff,
so you'll be working with both companies then?
hopefully,
But the main bid would be through OI.
yes, yeah.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Probably moved and seconded to approve the main bid through OI, and then up to 150,000 using either OI or advance to finish up the work. Does that sound like what you
Yep.
wanted? Okay.
Yep.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. Nicole,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
and a yes for me. Motion carries. Next item is the 4th of July fireworks. Usually we've done 2,000 in the past, whether we want to keep it at that or additional, being that prices have went up. And then we pay each fireman that helps 200 or 150.
I think it was 100 last year, I believe.
100.
You can check, to see what it was, but I think it was 100 last year. I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Probably moved and seconded to spend 2,000 for the 4th of July fireworks show, and then $100 for each individual's fireman that helps with that. Any other discussion?
Who decides where they're getting everything from? Is it the
Yeah.
firemen? The fireworks, yeah. Okay. I didn't know if they still worked with Big Top or not. Yeah, yeah, so, yeah, Keith Meyer, yeah, so.
Have these always, has this request always gone through the city only, or has it ever been split up between HBA, GDC or anything? or
HBA
just the city?
pays, HBA pays a small amount, yeah.
Okay.
There are some others that do pay.
And I just can't remember who it was, because I know, because I heard back, this was maybe too long ago, but that they were kind of going back and forth a little bit between Big Top and Keith. So I don't know where they're at with that for sure anymore. I'm not even sure. I'm assuming they're still selling up there, but, you know. Yeah, I'm not sure who makes that decision on buying that, so.
Is there any other discussion? Dave?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Any yes for me? Motion carries. The last item that we have on our agenda are our insurance agency. Is there any discussion on the agents that presented?
So the price is the same with all of them, right? Because of the way
Correct.
it's ran?
North
Yeah.
Dakota Insurance Reserve sets the price, and so we pay the agent what they say, and then the agent would get a factor of whatever
Mhm.
vendor or fire and tornado says that it's going to be. So it wouldn't matter who we went with, the price would be all the same.
Mhm.
With the price, is the coverage all the same?
Yes.
Okay. Just had to ask.
It's about the agent and how they're servicing and helping the city with their business. Like I said, the reason that was brought up was that with Lee retiring and not necessarily having the business in town, that was part of the request, and so we had opened it up to any agents in the community to come and present to you guys as to what they can do for the community, so.
Well, it's kinda like picking a commissioner, they're all fine companies. But I'm gonna make a motion that we go with Farmers Union Insurance.
Okay.
I'll second.
Probably moved and seconded. Is there any other discussion? Nicole?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Any yes for me? Motion carries. Congratulations, Ryan. And I'll have you work with Sarah and Ashley to get that switch made when it needs to happen, so. Is there anybody in the audience tonight that would like to address the commission?
That's awesome.
You like that, JR? JR's rate just went up because we're doing sidebars. Shouldn't you have your attorney with you, JR? You must cover too many court cases.
Can we use that in the future too? Can we sidebar? So maybe
You don't know what he's
next time
talking
we
about,
need
so we
to
don't know
ask
who the
each
other
other,
party
and
is.
we have to go up to Levi, up to the bench. I hate having to do this choosing thing.
I'm guessing we're doing something wrong, so straighten us out.
All right. Reminded me that I hadn't talked about the pool, so. I don't have anybody currently that said they will definitely run it. Our old pool manager said that she would come back if we can't get anybody else to run it. The one thing that I'm waiting on is trying to find out, but she told me she wasn't gonna clean, so. The other thing that's gonna hurt us is trying to make sure we have all the lifeguards lined up, so I'll still keep working on that, trying to see if we can get something working, especially today would have been nice. I'm sure we would have been full, so
With that grant, when do they start the repairs on that?
we could start anytime.
Okay. So it'd be,
That
would
was
be
the
able
other
to-
thing that I'm
You could
working
co-
on. I was
correct.
supposed to hear last week and he had something
Right.
come up, so I'm waiting to hear back
And-
on.
And probably this late in the game, you wouldn't have anybody starting there till August, September anyway, when we close it back down probably, or?
Right, well, and in the
It's hard to
past,
say,
we've
so-
kept it open till October, so that was the other
Well,
end.
but we probably won't now, so.
Right.
it'd be nice on a hot day like this.
It would be. Which that reminds me, there was another grant that came out. You're gonna have to tell Jim Murphy to quit sending me stuff.
No, Jim, don't quit.
They're grants.
Another grant through the Commerce Department,
Oh, yeah.
which would be, it's open till August 31st, and that one is the same thing that could be used for pools. And what I'd like to do with that, if you're in agreement, is look into it and see if we can get Abby again to write a grant, since she's very good at that, what it would cost to possibly put in a splash pad for down at that area. That's kind of my hope, and is trying to upgrade and get that thing where we can keep it with some funds. And that again is another, up to, I think it's 15,000 again, so,
Up to 15,000?
or 150,000, sorry.
And that's a match too, or?
That's a match too again, yep. As long as you're okay with me looking into that, I will, otherwise I won't.
I'm fine with it.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll keep looking at that. All right.
I'm
Is
glad
there-
to hear that she's willing to come back for a little while, so.
Is there anything else for the good of the order, or anybody else in the audience? Yes. That was, I was gonna figure we should talk to him about it before the next meeting, and then we can assign after that, if we need to do any changes. To make sure that we can make things work in your schedule too, before just signing you in.
I just remembered one thing. You guys drive by the Armory, look at the corner, it'd be the northeast corner of the building. The bricks are starting to push out. If you happen to drive by there, take a look at it, see what you think.
Does it need some tuck pointing?
Pardon?
Does it look like it needs tuck pointing?
It needs something. The whole row along the corner is pushing out, so.
Okay.
Sounds
Um,
like tuck pointing.
Which reminds me, then, we also need to have somebody come in and look at this floor in here.
Did they do anything with the lights at the Armory? Did anybody ever get over there? Need to get that done too before.
Also, there's some flashing up on the, trim flashing up above the roof line that's flapping down there too. That should be.
Now, he would have the building and grounds, and now we're telling him.
That's
all
why we
that-
were talking about
I
that.
know.
I just remembered this.
Just remember
Yay, jump right on in.
I'm giving him this long
Should we
list
give
of
him this
things.
list of, and I want this done by?
Okay, is there any other things? Do I have a, if not, then do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved by Dave, seconded by Nicole. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I-
Meeting is adjourned.